We enjoy talking about ways that you can grow your portfolio, prepare for all the different parts of life that will come your way where your money really needs to be working for you. But what that looks like is as individual as the people who are watching this morning. Brittany and Jay Hagee are back on the show. They have Alon Planning Partners here in town. Good to see you.
Great to see you, Julie.
I didn't want to stumble over my words, but I realized kind of in the introducing you, I talked about the money side of it. But y'all really do a lot more than that. You're this holistic team.
Absolutely.
But what that means, people don't always really understand.
That's right. And that's why we would love to help them understand that, right? And so, one, we are fiduciary independent advisors, meaning that we don't work for a big box brokerage house or something. We're not trying to sell financial products. We're trying to put financial planning in people's hands so that they can succeed in the goals they have, right? That's number one. But the holistic approach you talked about is really what sets us apart, because we do look at investment strategies. We talk about that all the time. But you also have to look at income planning, because if I have all the great investment strategies in the world and do not know how, when I retire, that I should appropriately take income on that, or if I may run out of money when I retire, that's a big issue. We go through income planning. We look at tax planning. We've talked about that on whole segments here about why tax planning is important and how to save people money in that. Then we look at healthcare planning, because we all have seen it, unfortunately, that there can be one healthcare incident that wipe out a lot of your savings if you're not properly prepared for that. And then last but not least, we look at estate planning, because legacy and estate planning past just living money through your lifetime and leaving it well to your family, your kids, whoever you may have that you want to leave it to, the charities that you want to leave it to, is very important how you set that up. So we do all of those things.
I know y'all like to talk in generalities, and so if I'm going to ask you a question that's too specific, just say, no, Julie, this is not the time and place. But when you said a lot of people will have this money that they've amassed in their 401k, but they won't know how to turn that into income.
Sure.
Can I just throw something out there?
Give it to
Because
me.
there are probably people watching thinking, okay, look, my 401k tells me I'm going to have $750,000 when I retire.
Sure.
You combine that with my Social Security, I'm never going to run out of money. Is that a common thought?
That is, but here's the problem with that. Your dollars in your 401k are still invested and in the market, right? So you have market risk, which it's okay to have market risk. We all need that. That's how we actually
Last month or
grow
so,
our
we've all
funds.
seen that.
Yeah, right.
It's been a little
But
dicey.
the negative in that is that when you are actually in retirement and you're taking the same amount of risk with your nest egg, like your core retirement living dollars, if you're taking the same amount of risk with those dollars in retirement as you were during your working years, man, one bad downturn
Like
could
this
just
month.
exactly could decimate, and there goes your income.
Right.
And then you're in trouble. So that's where the planning piece comes in, where all these components that Jay mentioned, they really do all fit together. And if you're missing one, it impacts the other in ways that people don't understand. It really is like a puzzle, how it all fits together.
Okay, back to the healthcare part of it, how all it takes is one thing.
That's right.
Right.
Do y'all, just person by person dependent, but do you tend to recommend like health care savings plans, or not health care, long-term care insurance, sorry?
Well, it's very individualistic, because there's a lot of things you can do with the healthcare piece. One, we have a Medicare specialist, because a lot of times when people get to 65, they need to know what to do. What's my best plan for Medicare, right? Number one, because that's a big piece. Medicare doesn't cover everything.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of people don't understand either. So like what it doesn't cover, I have to pull out of my nest egg, or I have to have a long-term care planning put together. Now, there are many things we can do for long-term care planning that's not just go buy long-term care insurance.
Right.
That's not what we're talking about. It's very individualistic to the individual, and so it would be really hard for me to get specific
Sure.
on that here, but we need to have a plan put together for healthcare.
Yeah.
Back to this individualized approach that y'all take, this holistic part of it. Everybody has their own way of having their money make sense
That's
to
right.
them.
That's
like
right.
I'm a compartmentalized person. I kind of like having money here for this and money here for that. Other people like it all in one pot.
That's right.
Do you see that a lot?
We do, and there is strategy in kind of
In
divvying
both?
it. Well, there's strategy in divvying it out. Benefit in divvying out, especially as you're nearing retirement and you're looking at distribution strategies.
Diversification
A
matters.
great distribution strategy is when you have multiple buckets of funds and dollars that you're pulling from at different times based on what's happening in the economy and overall markets. So again, it's diversification at play where all your funds aren't invested the same way. That brings some balance to your investment strategy. And then when you go to take the distributions, options, you can actually set up an income approach that helps you through no matter what happens in the economy.
And let me go one level deeper on that, Julie, because it's not just how we set up the diversification, but we do what's called value-based investing. So we can actually look, if you want to talk to us personally about the ethics that you may live with, your faith, the morality of what you're invested in. We actually take an individualistic approach, not just to put you in different buckets, but like, how does what you're invested in go with or against your morals, right? Because value-based investing is just as important, and we are a little unique in that. A lot of times you'll go into a big box firm and they'll put you in this ETF,
Kinda
that
like a rubber
ETF,
stamp
this
mutual
fund or
mutual fund.
something, right.
Like, we actually want to know you. We want to know how you want to invest, and we show you the options that you have based on your values as well.
Which
Lining up your investments with your
That's right.
personal, not just goals, but your personal values.
So you really do want to know your clients.
Absolutely.
Well, we have to. If we want to do our job well, we have to know them. We have to know their goals. We have to know their values, the way they view their money. All of that comes into play for us to be able to craft that plan that really works for them.
All right, well, here's where you will find them to begin that relationship and that companionship with them. It's Alon Planning Partners. They're over on East Brainerd Road. You can't miss their beautiful building, 315-1441, alonplanning.com.